Well, this might not look like much, but I've got pretty high expectations. This is the newest ready-to-fly RC plane, they're calling it a jet, by Radiolink. It's their SU27. Now what I like about this is that they've done really well with their flat, high-performance, aerobatic airplane. We'll just have fun with it. It's a great airplane. I really love flying this thing. Yeah, you need like a calm-ish day to fly it. It can fly in wind, but if you really want it to perform the way like it was meant to perform, you really shoot for that calm weather. I'm not the best pilot to show this off, but I'm also, I think, a pretty good pilot to show it off because you can do stuff that I couldn't do with other airplanes. They've had, I think, 5 different iterations of it, making improvements time over time. And now it's one of my favorite little ready-to-fly things that can fly in a very small space. So I'm excited to see what they've done with this. It's got a 3-bladed, center-mounted brushless outrunner motor, and they did a good job with the way it looks. We've got elevator controls that could operate independently and aileron controls. The only assembly required of this was just clicking in place the vertical stabilizers. It does look good, and as I said, it's ready to fly. It's operating on the same battery that the little flat airplane flies on with a JST plug. This is included with a USB charge cable, and on this one, they opted with a different radio. Now, the instructions showed the other radio, so I'll be guessing on this maiden flight as to what all the switches do. I'll try to do some ground tests before we take off, but this will be a maiden flight of this brand new plane. I'm excited to fly this. I'm very hopeful that it's just going to be fun. It has flight stabilization, basically the equivalency of safe. Then we have a intermediate mode with AS3X equivalency, and we can turn all that off completely. So without further ado, no more stalling, no pun intended. Let's put this in the air and see how it does. First and foremost, this beeping is actually a low voltage alarm for the transmitter. It's nice that that exists, but it's really annoying, especially knowing that these are brand new AA batteries, brand new. So I think there's a bit of a bug with this radio. I love that the ailerons and the elevator move together, and then when I give it up elevator, look, all 4 operate together. So that's really cool. This knob up here is a rate knob on the shoulder. So look down here, as I hold it and lower the knob, my rates go down. As I move the knob up, the rates go up. So that's cool that that's implemented onto a knob. Switches for flight stabilization functionality there is off, and here it's on. So it's gonna keep us nice and level. It flies extremely well. That's hands-free already, right out of the box. Nice and steady. Now I have my rates completely on high as far as they'll go, so we can turn on a dime. Here, check that out. So it's on really high. Very easy to fly, hands-free. I've done my best to mute this beeping behind myself and Abby, and behind the mic as well. So this is wild. I can't believe they released it like that. We're going to try to turn flight stabilization off. This is what we do on our channel, guys. We try to show you guys literally. Oh, look at that, Abby. Wow. That roll rate's insane. This is just full manual. There's no stabilization, no AS3X similar or whatever. Here we can turn AS3X kind of on, which should smoothen that up. This is going to be a ridiculously short flight. Yeah, that's definitely smoother. Wow. It's very capable. I like this a lot, but this radio beeping is just insane. Horrible choice by them, but I think that's where we're going to have to end this, because there's no way anybody wants to listen to this. Very cool, very capable. We can get this thing upside down, kick stabilization on, and it saves it. Safe equivalency. We can turn our rates up and down. I love everything about this, except for that beeping, and that's just the reality of it. So there you go. There, I saved everybody. That's amazing. They did a really fantastic job on this, and you better believe we'll be featuring it on the channel again soon. But I thoroughly scoured the internet and every possible instruction bit that came with this just to try to figure out what's going on. I'm 99% sure that in just horrible beeping is from low batteries in the transmitter. But again, those are brand new batteries, so I'm very disappointed in what's going on here. It could just be an isolated incident. Abby and I go back and forth all the time with this kind of thing. In fact, we did off camera. Do we even put a video out?
I mean, my ears are bleeding. Like, my brain hurts now.
That's why we landed it, because I'm sure you guys don't want to either, but this is just the factual truth. Like, we could easily go home, not put this video out, and reach out to this company and say, hey, this is beeping, what's going on? I'm sure they'd send us another controller. Shoot, they'd probably send us a whole nother setup if I said anything, because, you know, they don't want that info out there. But this is the truth. And don't get me wrong, Radiolink, we absolutely love your previous plane, and this flies really well. I'm very disappointed in this happening right now. So I didn't want this to happen, but it's just the truth of it. You know, there are channels that exist out there. In fact, I'd say most of them are polished. I'm not saying they won't show failures or things bad happening, but I almost guarantee a majority of people, and there's a few guys that would do the right thing, good channels out there, especially in the RC world, there's a few of you for sure, but a majority would just not put this video out there and go home and, you know, reach out to the company and get the problem solved before putting this out to the public. So what do you think? Are you glad that we do this, even though you had to listen to that horrible beeping? It's not a commercial channel, it's just a this is what it is channel. And here's where I get so disappointed. YouTube will show the good stuff to 100,000 people, but when we do a video like this that's truthful, because some people will click away when they start hearing that beeping, YouTube thinks, well, no one wants to watch that, and so maybe only a few thousand people will see this. That's how I feel about it. It flew great, it felt great, it was very, like, you know, 5 minutes to snap it together and get it in the air, charge your battery, and you're flying. Now, sometimes we might have a personal failure with me, my pilot skills, sometimes a failure on the airplane, maybe the glue failed, and every now and then we can have a radio failure. And I'm glad that I fly with AMA, because you never know what could fail, what is and isn't out of your control. And there's just a lot of unpredictableness in this hobby at times. So I highly encourage you fly with AMA, because like I said, you just never know what can go wrong. It's an insurance program for those of us that enjoy the RC hobby, not just airplanes, but cars and trucks and boats, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. We'll have AMA linked in the description box below, and if you're curious about this airplane, I will still link it down there as well. Despite what actually happened here, I still want to say a massive thanks to God for giving us the opportunity to get in front of the camera and share this short but still fun experience with you guys, and a truthful one at that. Also, a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters. Because of you guys, we get to jump in front of the camera and just speak the truth, always, from day one. And I'm very grateful for that, and it's because of our Patreon supporters as well. If you're into ready-to-fly airplanes, we just featured a couple really great options right around the $200 price point, and 2 of those will be featured in one video. We'll have that one popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye!